That's more better. Frank Lange, happy member of the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome to church. And thank you for coming on time. We're going to do something a little different with cell phones right now. Usually I tell you to turn them off, but before you do, text somebody. Tell them you're at church.
Modern church.
Tell them what a great day it is at church. I'm going to text Fred Gilson.
Well, this is fun.
While he's texting, say hi to your neighbor.
Say hi to your neighbor.
Go ahead and text your neighbor and tell him that you're at church.
Text your neighbor.
Woo. That last little fix before you turn them off for an hour. Oh my God!
Fred, I'm at church. Where are you? All right, we got a little business to take care of this morning. Everybody, please join me in wishing Barbara Cox happy birthday.
Whoa.
Happy birthday. Now, the reading for this morning is Science of Mind, I promise you. But you're going to have to listen. You're going to have to listen up a little carefully because it's kind of science. Positive message in reverse. So indulge me. My favorite. We, ignorant of ourselves, beg often our own harms, which the wise power denies us for our good. So we find profit by losing of our prayers. You want to hear that again?
Yeah.
We, ignorant of ourselves, beg often our own harms, which the wise power denies us for our good. So we find profit by losing of our prayers. So we find profit by losing of our prayers. So again, welcome to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. We have a great celebration today. We're going to do the opening chant right now. Words should appear above me.
Now, since it is, how many people really felt the light shifting and the heat shifting on Friday? Did you feel it? It was an amazing, it was so, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday.
9:57 a.m.
So, let's all stand up and sing this spring song. Now the green braid rises from the buried grain, wheat that in the dark earth many years has lain. Love lives again like wheat that springs up. When our hearts are saddened, grieving or in pain, by your touch you call us back to life again. Fields of our hearts, dead and bare have been. Love is come again like wheat that springs up green. Once our world was young and all our hopes were new. Once our songs were sung and all the words were true. Look deep within. Love is come again like wheat that springs up green. Now the wheel is turning turning from the dark, and our hearts are burning, burning with a spark. Spring lives again, and in us leaves its mark. Love is come again, like wheat that springs up green.
Oh, you may be seated. Isn't that sweet? It's like a little English court with one of those little da 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 da. So my prayer this morning is going to explain the quote that Frank read. And it's about trust. Spring is the easiest time in the year for us to trust because the manifestation of new life is all around us. So if you would join me by turning within to that source of everything, the source that is the infinite presence of the Creator of all, that field of pure possibility, that wheel that turns and turns again, the life that is eternal throughout all of the seasons, and that life that is in me. It is God's life. And it is that life that lives in each one of us, in all of the flowers that are springing up, in all of the green leaves on the trees, in all of the bird song. It is that one life of God, forever and ever renewing itself. And so it is as I look at my life, and there are things that I would easily ask for that I think would make my life easier or happier. I surrender those things and that request to the infinite presence. For in the state of my development, God knows some things that I do not know. And I have had enough answered prayer to know that as I surrender all of my requests to God, that the answer comes better than I could have imagined. And so I invite each one here within the sound of my voice, if there is something that is heavy on your heart, to just not imagine what might be happier or lighter or better, but to give it all to God and ask instead for divine direction for exactly the greatest expression of your life in the spring of your life right now. And so, because this takes great trust, I also pray for that. May I trust as I surrender, and may all my people trust as they surrender. I give my thanks that this prayer is answered perfectly in each heart as each heart listens. It is so good, so great. I release and let go, and so it is. Amen. Aha. Okay. Sam comes next. Okay. Sam Rogers is here today. The entire band of God, all of the trumpeters and all of the drummers, and everyone is right here in Sam. Please welcome Sam Rogers.
Thank you. As thoughts of spring and thoughts of love are in the air, I thought I would just be glad that I'm here and be glad that you're here. And it really wasn't good before we all showed up, you know? It was kind of, you know, things were happening, but really showing up and really demits, bing, bong, demits, 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 bong, bong, demits, 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 bing, bong, being there, but demits, bong, bong, demits, there were bells, bing, bong, bong meadows, on the hills, bong meadows, thought I never bong meadows, heard them ringing, bong meadows, though I never bing bong meadows, heard them medals, boom, lots of lady votes until there was a bong meadows, you bing bong meadows, there were birds, bong meadows, in the skies, bing bong meadows, but I never bong meadows, saw them winging, bong meadows, no I never bong meadows, saw them at all, boom, lots of lady boats until there was then there was music and wonderful roses, they tell me, and sweet fragrant meadows of dawn and dew, bong bong. There was love to bong bong meadows, all around, bing bong meadows, but I never bong bong meadows, heard it singing, lo 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 lo. No, I never bing bong meadows, heard it at all, boom, lots of lady votes until there was a bong bong meadows, you bing bong meadows, tum ba doo, fast lily, va tum ba dee, tum ba doo, pshay, tum ba doo, to deep fest, be that then it was music, wonderful roses, oh, so they tell me, in sweet fragrant meadows of dawn and dew, bong ba, there was love to bong bong meadows, all around, bing bong meadows, that I never to bong bong meadows, started swinging, ba doo da da. No, I never bing bong meadows, heard it at all, boom, lots of lady boats until there was a bong bong meadows, you bing bong meadows, you bing bong meadows, you. Thanks.
Oh, goodness. I've had so much fun already. Oh, my goodness. I never thought that I could come to so much fun. My name is Marilyn. I'm your practitioner. And is there anything I can do about this? Okay. There we go. All right. Well, I'm so grateful to be here. So very grateful. And and one reason that I'm grateful is that Mary Cosgrove is here, and she has started up this whole wonderful thing for us for our resilient neighborhoods. So I'd like to introduce Mary Cosgrove and Tamara Peters. You sit right here.
I'm going to leave Tamara up here, but I just wanted to say thank you, Marilyn and Karyl, and everyone for opening your hearts and your minds to something new here at GGCSL.
Thanks, Mary. It's a real honor to be here this morning. Mary and Jay have gone through the program that I'm here to tell you a little bit about. My name is Tamara Peters, and I'm director of a program called Resilient Neighborhoods. And I also want to really say howdy again to Reverend Karyl. I was a member of this community a number of years ago and was actually on the first Great Britain trip with Reverend Karyl. It was when I got some of the first blessings in Wales. Anyway, it was wonderful. And Reverend Karyl has given me a Scotland brochure when I came in this morning. And I have been very, very blessed to have found my soul's calling early in life. In June of 1970, I started working for the Nature Conservancy. And the earth has been what my calling has been my whole life. And this is just a part of where I am on the path right now. And I want to share with you about it this morning. One of the things I remember so vividly and experiencing again this morning from this community is the open-heartedness of everyone and the welcome. And just feeling, just from walking in, just getting hugs and seeing familiar faces, just feeling that the love and open-heartedness. And that's where I'd like to take your open hearts and move you into a place where resilient neighborhoods fits in, which is the earth. So I want to read several lines from a poem by Drew Dellinger, who lives in Mill Valley. Some of you may know of him. It's called Love Letter from a Milky Way. And let your hearts connect with the words, that open-heartedness to the whole of us being part of this life around us. It's 3:23 in the morning, and I am awake because my great-great-grandchildren won't let me sleep. My great-great-grandchildren ask me in dreams, what did you do when the planet was plundered? What did you do when the earth was unraveling? Surely you did something when the seasons started failing. As the mammals, reptiles, and birds were all dying, what did you do once you knew? These lines touched me very, very deeply and helped inspire me to put together resilient neighborhoods. And I hope they touch you as well. So, Resilient Neighborhoods is a project of Sustainable Marin. And what we do is help people take better care of their families, their communities, and the planet by doing something about climate change. For me, I consider climate change the biggest issue of our time right now. And I've learned more as I was developing the program. 60% of the carbon emissions that cause climate change, it's the main cause of climate change, carbon dioxide. 60% of the emissions here in Marin come from the residents. It's us. It's not business. It's not government. It's us. And we can do something about it through this program. Like the poem asks, what did you do once you knew? Our program helps you become more aware of your daily behavior. It's like we don't even know some of what we're doing that causes climate change. How many of you took a shower this morning or in the last couple of days? I'm just making sure. Okay, what you probably don't realize is when you turned on the faucet in the morning, if you think about it, it's like, okay, I just turned on the hot water. So my water heater's down there using energy that's causing carbon dioxide emissions to go into the atmosphere that cause climate change. But what you probably don't know is that the biggest single use of electricity in the county of Marin is pumping the water back up onto the storage tanks that we see on the hills like on 101 to replace the water that you just used in your house. So every time you turn on the water in your house, you're creating carbon emissions that are causing global warming. So when you reduce your time that you take in the shower, you're doing something for the planet. You're doing your part. And those are the kinds of actions that you learn about in our program. So we help empower people to reduce their carbon emissions, and the second part of the program is about what's called now in climate change circles adaptation. And that means that our lives are going to be changed and are already changed by the climate change that's here right now. And this is our 2013 was the driest year in record for Marin County. And there's a drought in California and all of that. We don't know how long it's going to last or what's going to happen. But in Marin, they're predicting more droughts, more severe storms, flooding, sea level rise, and the thing that really kind of freaked me out was a 4 to 5-fold increase in wildfires. So our programs helps us create community resiliency through being prepared for emergencies, getting to know our neighbors, and helping support local business and also our local agriculture and the food that's grown here. So it's kind of connecting, being sustainable with the resources we have where we live. The fun part of the program is that we do it in community. You form what's called, and Mary and Jay did this, what's called an eco team of 5 or more households, and you get together and do the program. It's like a 5-meeting program. It's completely facilitated, and you choose what you want to do, and you get the support of your community members. And you name your team. Mary and Jay were the Tam Valley Loco 2s. It looked like locos, but it's CO2, so they were the low CO2s, locos. So we have the Fettuccine Carbonatas and Gerstle Park Carbonauts. Anyway, lots of fun with that. And at the end, when everybody finishes and the team finishes, we add up all the carbon that's been reduced, and the team gets their photo taken, and we put it on our internet. We've had 140 households in Marin do the program, and this county's residents have reduced 1.86 million pounds of carbon. Yeah. So we can make a difference, and we have 21 households in the program right now, including Terra Linda High School. We have some students doing the work there with their parents. So it does add up. We can make a difference. This is a critical time for the planet and all life on the planet. And when it comes to climate change, we're all in this together. So if this sparks an interest, connects with your heart, and you'd like to have some fun doing this with other people, come and see us. We'll have a table over there, Mary and Jay and I, and we can talk to you more about it. And I should add, the program is fun, it's rewarding, and it's free. Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to be here.
Easter is coming. And what a pageant. Part of the what I love about Easter is that we get to celebrate together and we get to create it together. What part will you play? There are sign-up sheets over on the table. You can sign up to bring a dish. You can sign up to compile an Easter basket or to create eggs, plastic eggs with things inside. Or there's an Easter bonnet, of course, an Easter bonnet contest. So we have one leader. Johnny Van has stepped up to lead the team for baskets. This will be the most beautiful Easter celebration. We have yet to discover who will also take over as the kitchen leader, and we do need an Easter bonnet leader, so maybe that's you. There are free tapes available back here for one day only. They are extended from last week. This opportunity has been extended. And after service today at 12:30, I'm teaching a course that's called Quick Start. It's a 3-hour course that is all about science of mind. It's actually an introduction or a synopsis, and many people have come to me and said that they would like to take it again. Some people have taken it up to 3 times and said, oh my gosh, it was so different each time. If you have something on your mind you'd like to talk about regarding our philosophy, come and we'll talk about it. You can sign up right over here and ask me more questions right after service. Thank you so much. Reverend Karyl has more to announce.
I do, quickly. The 5th Sunday of the month is next Sunday, and as usual, Jet Walker is doing a brunch. And this particular Sunday, I will be doing a ritual for her family that's going to be really heartwarming for everybody. So please come to Jet's home next Sunday, and we'll have directions next Sunday. The ritual class for April is about Easter and Passover, and if you want to come, you need to prepay because there just isn't enough people that come on Fridays. I'm going to try this on Wednesdays, but the first Friday of April is still the one for Easter and Passover. So if you want to come, you can just put a $20 check in that envelope on the activities table. You all have a flyer for Victoria Castle, and she's coming up. That's all I'll say about that, but there's a sign-up sheet over there. And finally, my housemates are here today. Reverend Mary Murray Shelton, if you'd stand, and Amanda Craiglow, her partner. And these are lifelong friends of mine, and they're living with me now, so what could be better? It's a party all the time. Now, Amanda is a professional photographer, and I've asked her to take some pictures of all of us. And so if you do not want to be in a picture, just tell Amanda, and she'll try to avoid you, but you might try to avoid her as well. Who would not want their picture taken? And that's because Bodhi and I are re-envisioning the service, and you might just see your sweet faces on the big screen soon. So that's the announcements, except to say welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. I saw a couple of roses. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Blessed be. Let me give you a hug after the service. Oh my gosh, people I haven't seen in a long time. Well, welcome to everyone today. Okay, moving into the spiritual, well, it's all spiritual message, but this is my talk that I've prepared for you. Our theme is the Year of Yes, What We Believe. What We Believe is an essay that was penned by our founder in the 1930s, and we have divided it into 12 statements, and that's on that poster over there, and we're on the third one right now, which is we believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. And so I'm telling you, in March, I am speaking to you more about the soul than I have ever spoken in my whole life. Because that is the theme for March, is soul. So 2 weeks ago, we established that the soul is that part of us that is everlasting, that moves through this experience of life forever. You're here in God forever. This is just a part of what you're here for. And so last week we talked about how this part is very, very important for your soul, because you could have chosen a lot of other places to go with your eternal time, and being here in this wonderful realm. Let me just put this quote up here. That's the eternality, immortality of the individual soul. Because you chose to come here, what we have here, bodies, other bodies, gravity, time, the passage of time, forms, the beautiful forms of spring, all of those things are important to your soul and my soul, because it helps our soul expand in some way or other. And so the message is for you to participate as fully as possible in this realm while you're here. Because for all of us, there will be a last breath in with these lungs that are so precious to us in this realm. And so to love all the sunsets, to love all the sunrises, to love all the springs, to love all the garlic sauce, everything that is about form on this earth plane, go for it. Today, I want to talk about a very particular form that we have also chosen to experience, and that is the flow of the seasons. We just passed the spring equinox, and we are reminded that this is really the fundamental system of our earth. It is the flow of the seasons. And so how much can our soul open to the flow of the seasons, because they too serve the expansion of our soul. And so because it was our choice to come here, we must have wanted spring, summer, fall, and winter a lot. And I'm telling you, as much as I love all the seasons, and you've heard me speak about all of the seasons, I am telling you spring is irresistible. I mean, look at, this is Shawn Haven's altar with these little girl flowers. I mean, for goodness sakes, it opens everyone's heart to see the beautiful flowers of spring. And actually, these are perfect examples of the flowers of spring's little, what are these little, these guys here? No, hyacinths. I knew it was an H flower. Hyacinths and tulips and lil cannas. The carnations are pretty hardy, but these other ones, they bloom once and then they're gone. Enjoy now. So when we really want to appreciate spring, I want to remind you of where it came from. So if you could just close your eyes for a moment and think of a time when it was cold and dark for a long time. Perhaps even food was scarce, fresh food. And perhaps at that time, color was limited. When we look out at the hills and the trees, no color, just black and white or dark brown. And then imagine the first blossoms of spring appearing, the first bird song, the first bright breeze instead of that cold wind. And then someone laughs, just that belly laugh. And then seemingly overnight, there are so many flowers. And there are fresh eggs that perhaps you haven't seen for 6 months. Eggs of all different colors if you go rooting around in somebody's nest. And that is the miracle every single year. Open your eyes now. And this is what we're experiencing. This is the word for the day, is rebirth. It happens every spring. And it's a reminder that death has no permanent power. You know, I hesitate to say that there is no death because there is that mystical transition that we went, you know, if we, you know, go out on Mount Tam today, there is as much, even though it's all green and there's flowers and birdsong and breezes, there is as much physical evidence of that transition that we call death as there is new life, because that's part of the flow of the season of our life and the seasons of life on earth. So when things turn brown and they have been green, we call it death. And when things are still and they have been animated, we call that death. But actually, the message of spring is that that isn't the end. That there is birth, life, transition and transformation and rebirth. And then life and expression and dynamism and then transition and then another rebirth. That's the message of spring. And that's exactly what this quote tells us, that our soul is eternal and immortal and continuous. The song we sang, that last stanza I love so much, now the wheel is turning, turning from the dark, and our hearts are burning, burning with a spark. Spring lives again, and in us leaves its mark. Love is come again, like springs, like wheat that springs up green. So, because our soul is immortal and always expanding and always in God, we don't have to worry about that transition. So, William Blake said, if the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. So because I think that this month on soul has really been like how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. And I really want to bring it down to earth and have it be applicable and practical so that it nurtures you. And so I'm going to bring up something that's in the news and hard for all of us, and that's that Malaysian plane and their families. And I hope no one is intimately involved with this, because the practice that I'm going to suggest to you right now only works when we're at a little bit of a distance. But if we practice it when we're at a distance, when it comes close to us, it's easier to practice it. And that's to say that if we could say about all these people on that plane, if we were a family member, and if we could say, my beloved's soul is vibrantly alive and is somewhere in God, that's the truth. That is the truth. Now, can the family say that? I don't think they can say that. But we can say that for them. And you might bring to mind the passage of people in your life that you love. Somewhere, maybe you have someone that you don't know what happened to. But no matter what, alive and in front of you, animated in their body and in front of you, or not knowing where they are, or having passed from their body and are in that spirit realm, wherever the next realm is, somewhere, all of our beloveds are safe, alive, and in God. All of our beloveds are safe, alive, and within God. And if we practice knowing that at a distance, like we are right now with the 230 people on that plane, they're alive somewhere in God right now. If we practice that as we think about people that we're not intimately close to, it helps when there is someone that is close to us that we're concerned about. It helps when we're concerned about ourselves to say, no matter what is going on, my soul is eternal, immortal, and continuous. And I and all of my beloveds are safe and alive in God. And this is the big gift of spring. When rebirth is all around us, we can remind ourselves, yes, everything that was alive is alive. And we are reminded in spring that that is exactly what is happening. So the title of my talk today is Spring and the Eternal Living Cycle, Birth, Transformation, and Rebirth. And I have this great little piece from Maurice Maeterlinck. It's called News of Spring. It loiters. It goes to and fro like an unoccupied gardener. It pushes aside the branches, fondles with its breath the olive tree that quivers with a silver smile, polishes the glossy grass, recalls the birds that have never fled, encourages the bees that were workers without ceasing, and then, seeing like God that all is well in spotless Eden, it rests for a moment on the ledger of a terrace which the orange tree crowns with regular flowers and with fruits of light, and before leaving, casts a last look over its labor of joy and entrusts it to the sun. And that is news of spring. So when we let nature nurture us, when we let the seasons inform us about the nature of ourselves, when we participate in the cycles with awareness and consciousness, then it goes well for our soul. It expands our soul. And so in my backyard, we eat outside a lot. And we go for walks in the hills. And I am going to be one of those resilient neighbors. And the other thing I want to tell you, a personal story about my new housemates, is both of them have had a history in drama, and both of them are extremely compassionate. And so they narrate nature for me. And for example, when the blueberries drop all over the floor, they pretend they're blueberries and say, "Run for your lives," before they catch us. Or when we're outside and we're looking at the rosebuds and seeing which one is going to bloom first, they pretend they're rosebuds and say, "Look around and see who's as big as me," and grow a little more. And they narrate life. And the big thing is when we're on a walk and we see a dog. Dogs are very easy for them to narrate. And they speak what the dog would say. And of course now with 4 cats, they're always telling me what the cats are saying. And even enliven inanimate objects. Like we were getting in the car today, and Amanda didn't know if she had her battery pack for the camera. And Mary said, wouldn't it be nice if the camera just said, battery, I'm missing my battery. And so everything's alive. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed by my new housemates because they just make a play out of everything. So you can do that too. It's really fun to think about what, the tulips might be saying. Oh, my pink's prettier than your pink. So so here's the message. If you're linear, here's a linear. Using the energy of spring. So when I talk about using the energy of spring, what I'm saying is, in our philosophy, we create our lives because of our thoughts. We call it consciousness. What we hold in our awareness or in our consciousness tends to outpicture. And so all of our work is in cleansing our consciousness. And what I've been talking to you about so far today is using the springtime to let your soul be happy here. It's even though it's here for a finite amount of time, you can be happy pretty much all the time you're here if you mind your mind. And so what we're doing with using the energy of spring is directing our consciousness to upload the blessings of the natural world to apply to the circumstances of our life. Okay? I'll say that again. I like that. I put quotes around this too. And remember, I did this before. This whole talk is mine. I made up the whole talk. But I put quotes around this because I like this. So, I said, directing our consciousness to upload the blessings of the natural world to apply to the circumstances of our life. That's what using the energy of spring is. So first of all, is feel the rising energy. And you can do this by just being outside and looking at the tip ends of all of the bushes that are sending up shoots. They're a different color green. And that energy comes from the earth. And if you happen to have roses, my God, the roses are like little factories are going just right up from the earth. And that energy is on the part of the earth that you're standing on. This energy that is rising, and you can feel it in yourself like you can see it in the flowers and plants, and you can actually feel it as you walk on the earth, and each footfall is a kiss, the earth to your foot, the earth to your foot, the earth to your foot, and that rising energy is all around us, and it's the gift of spring as well. So you don't have to walk outside. You can meditate through a window. You can look outside through a window, or you can go backpacking. But really look at the spring, I'm telling you. And then you can also meditate on spring archetypes, like Persephone rising up out of the earth and all, I won't take the time to tell you the Persephone story, but if you don't know it, come to me because I'll tell it to you face to face. Persephone comes up out of the earth, and she doesn't just crawl out like a little, fox or something that's been hibernating and crawling up out of its burrow. She goes, and she leaps out onto the land. And Isis and Osiris are happily together again in the spring, and she has brought him back together, and the greenness is, Osiris in Egyptian lore is green, because he's the spring. And then, of course, we have the risen Christ, which is just one more story in a whole world full of spring stories of archetypes rising up in spring. So use this and feel the rising energy. And then you get to ask yourself, what wants rebirth? Because this is the moment, this is the time of rebirth. And if you feel ready for a new beginning, you don't have to say what you want. You just have to say to that rising energy, I am ready for rebirth in a particular area of my life. And when you ask for that, it should be with excitement. It should not be with fear or desperation. It's like, oh my God, my finances are tragic. I really want a rebirth in my finances. That's fear. Okay? We don't want that. We want that rising energy of I am ready for the abundance of spring to take place in my life. I'm ready for rebirth in the area of supply. But don't specify what it is. Just what is that energy wanting to do in your life? Then you surrender. Now, the surrender part, this is the release. But again, you don't have to say, I'm tired of that relationship, I release him. Or, okay, that kid of mine, I've had enough of that, I release him. No. Surrender is giving it all to God. The parts that are of concern to you and the parts that you don't know about, like this cold that I have had for 2 weeks, I have experienced the most debilitating physicalness that I've had in years and years and years. I do not know what that means. Am I working too hard? Probably. Am I saying yes too much? Probably. Am I concerned about some things that I have no control over? Probably. But that is just too much to think about. And so what I am surrendering is all my concern. Everything that I am concerned about, I am giving to God. And when you do that, you should feel relief. Not like, I wonder what's going to happen now, but, that feels so good. Okay, then after that, you ask for a new beginning. Again, just by saying that rebirth that wants to happen in me, I can't put words to it, but I say yes. I say yes to the rebirth in me. And then know that God will not leave you out trying to create it all yourself. That is not the way that a beloved of the Infinite One has to be. You will get supported. You'll get... if you don't outline and get all manic about what you have to let go of and what you have to create, then you can listen. Then you can get the divine impulse that you can say, oh, that's the rebirth. And then just accept the divine support that comes with it. And then, of course, the last is believe it. This is the consciousness piece. Because our mind is so powerful, it can create us dying or living. On Facebook this week, there was this article about the power of our mind. Of course, I can't find it again. But there was one part about a man who felt that he had been cursed by a witch doctor, somebody that can curse that he believed in. And this curse was leading him to death. And he debilitated enough that he looked like he was going to die. He got weaker and weaker and thinner and less energy and less energy. And taking him to the doctor didn't do any good at all because the doctor could not find anything that was wrong with him. But luckily, maybe he said, I think I was cursed. And the doctor was really creative. What happened was the doctor got a dead lizard and a big hypodermic needle. And he said to the guy, I know what your problem is. The witch doctor has put this big lizard in you, and the lizard is killing you from the inside, but what I have here is going to kill the lizard right away. And so, put something innocuous in his body, and then somehow got the lizard and did some kind of psychic surgery or whatever, and made this guy believe that this dead lizard had come out of him. And the doctor said, okay, you should be feeling much better very soon. 2 weeks, the guy was back to normal. That is the power of your mind if you believe it. Now, if you are in this philosophy long enough and you take some classes and you get some prayers from practitioners and you feel what it feels like to have a shift in consciousness, and that's definitely something we learn how to feel, then you will know if you really, really believe something. And you'll know how that feels. If you really, really believe something, it will manifest. You will have surrender and rebirth this spring like crazy. So, in order to, let's see. I'm going to tell you about the ritual, and then I'm going to read a wonderful spring poem by Theodore Roethke, which is about this idea of an ordinary miracle. It happens every year, but you got to ride it. You have to accept it. You got to grab it. So the ritual is these little pouches are actually left over from the wonderful event that we had on February 1st, but the symbols in them have miraculously changed. They're the same objects, but the symbolism is a little bit different. So what you do is there are going to be 3 practitioners up here at the altar, Shawn, Marilyn, and our new practitioner, Scott Murchison. They're going to be in front of the altar, and you come and you take a little pouch, and in the pouch is a piece of paper on which you go home and write what you are surrendering, and then you light it on fire. There are 2 big seeds. They're fava bean seeds. You write on the seeds what the rebirth is about, and you plant them. And then there is a ribbon, and you put the ribbon, it's kind of like the ribbon around your finger to remind you of something. You put the ribbon around something, your water bottle or the refrigerator door handle or something that you handle every day that will remind you that you have surrendered and that you have said yes to rebirth. And then you do part of the ritual at the altar, and the practitioners will bless you, and then you go home and do it today. You surrender what's on the paper and set it on fire, and you plant the fava beans. And if you don't have dirt yourself, find some dirt that is automatically watered and plant them. I have done that all over the world. There are fava plants growing up all over the world that the gardeners are going, where did that come from? It's my manifestation. Okay. In conclusion, this is called vernal sentiment, and this was the vernal equinox that we just passed. Though the crocuses poke up their heads in the usual places, the frog scum appear on the pond with the same froth of green, and boys moon at girls with last year's fatuous faces, I am never bored, however familiar the scene. When from under the barn a cat brings a similar litter, 2 yellow and black, and 1 that looks in between. Though it all happened before, I cannot grow bitter. I rejoice in the spring as though no spring ever had been. And so with that rejoicing, the last piece today is your takeaway. There's always another chance. And now is the time for that chance. So turn within with me. And feel how life lives again. And some aspect of your life may have been in the dark, but life lives again, that with the dark has been, and love is come again, like wheat that springs up green. This is the time when we get to say yes to life, yes to that rebirth, yes to that new beginning, yes to that new chance, yes to that time in our lives that always has that expansive and growth-producing energy. This is our spring. No matter how many springs you have seen in your life, this is the spring where the rebirth is proven in your experience of life. And we are all here to witness it. blessed thee.
Tell me, yeah. Ooh, you got to tell me, want you to tell me, yeah, want you to tell me, want you to tell me. Tell me what's the word with no soul. Tell me what's the word with no soul. Tell me what's the word with no soul. Whoa, whoa. Tell me what's the word with no soul. No soul. No soul. Yeah, yeah, soul. No soul. Yeah, yeah, soul. No soul. Yeah, yeah, soul. No soul. Want you to tell me. Yeah, want you to tell me. Soul. Tell me what's the word with no soul. Want you to tell me. Yeah, want you to tell me. Soul. I believe that there's more than evolution, more than money, more than technology. I believe that there's more than evolution, like how you can change your mind, but you can't change your destiny. No, blood is blood and it's thicker than water. Men will die, yet live forever. Ooh, the race is on, and I could be standing still, 'cause I have faith in something more than my will, and that's so. Want you to tell me, whoa, tell that's so. Oh, tell me what's the world with no soul. So, oh, tell me so. What's the world with no soul? No soul. Tell me, don't tell me so. No soul. I believe that there's birth and rebirth. Death will come, but followed with birth again. I believe that there's more than just this world here. Oh, I believe that there's more, and that's so. Won't you tell me what's the world with no soul? No soul, there's more than the soul, some more than this. Oh, tell me so. So much. No soul. Won't you tell me? Tell me so.
Sam, did you bring CDs? Did you bring CDs? So you can take them home. Would the ushers please come forward now? So now is the time that we practice that generosity of our heart that is so expansive in the spring. God is so generous. The infinite life is so generous to bring us all this beauty. And so I just encourage you to live in that expansive state as you give today. And if you would just put your gift next to your heart and let the love from that open heart infuse your gift, knowing that as it moves into and through this community, that first of all, you as the giver are blessed. And then you as the receiver are blessed by all the other gifts. And then the community, our resilient neighborhood is blessed as the money flows out into paying all of our bills and being a good citizen in Marin County. I give my thanks for this wonderful activity that we are about to share right now, and so it is. So would the ushers please receive the gifts? Bodhi's going to teach us a new chant.
We have a new chant that came through. I am awake to live my dream. My soul knows the way. Life grows as I believe, blossoming every day. I am awake to live my dream. My soul knows the way. Life grows as I believe, blossoming every day. I am awake to live my dreams. My soul knows the way. Life grows as I believe, blossoming every day. I am awake to live my dreams. My soul knows the way. Life grows as I believe, blossoming every day. One more time, I am awake to live my dreams. My soul knows the way. Life grows as I believe, blossoming every day. Blossoming every day. Blossoming every day. I am awake.
So I bless this offering and all of the generous hearts and gracious receivers in this space. God is so good. Blessed be. So before we pray out, I'd just like to say that all of you that I don't know personally, I would love to meet today. Several new faces here. Welcome, and I hope you had a good time and come back next Sunday. We have free tapes, we have Resilient Neighborhoods, we have Easter, we have trips, we have bookstore, we have the education table, we have coffee back there. And as the practitioners come forward, I would like to say that once a year, once every so often, every few years, we have this wonderful event when our Prac 2 students begin their time on the table. And so Leslie Gianetti's first time on the table is today. So, Marilyn, are you going to pray us out? Okay. Invite them to surround the room.
Would the practitioners please surround the room? And I invite you to go to that place within that always was and always will be. And from there, open with me to that awareness, that inflow of the awareness of that one great life. That irresistible urge to expand, that irresistible urge to create and recreate, expressing as every flower, every plant, as the earth herself, present everywhere, that which knows all things, sees all things, feels all things, that which is greater than we are. And yet, each one of us is the beloved place where God shows up to express and to expand into something more wonderful than what has gone before. In us and through us and as us. The irresistible urge to express comes through. as each individual dream, as that desire of the heart which has been put there in order to manifest and comes supplied with everything it needs to do that, as we allow it to take place. And so I give thanks for that yes to this divine urge today. And I give thanks for all that we need, all the support, all the inspiration, all the guidance, all the supply, in order to do just that manifestation of what is tugging on our hearts to be made manifest. And so for this and so much more, I give my thanks and let it go into the law where it is already taking place. So be it, and so it is. Amen.
So be sure and get your ritual, your little pouch up here. The practitioners will be ready, and get your prayer back there if you want that too. Come back next week. Get your hugs. Thank you, musicians. I love you all. Stand for our affirmation and closing song. Okay, right up here. So I feel the new beginnings budding all around me. I give thanks for my choice to focus on rebirth and renewal. I rejoice in the spring as though no spring ever had been.
Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around blooming heather. Will you go? And we'll all go together to pull wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Where you go, lassie? Where you go to spring? Woohoo! I love that song.